Welcome to VETos, the AI operating system for vocational education in ANZ. Every assessment an RTO uses has to cover the unit of competency it's built for, every element, every performance criteria, the assessment conditions, and academic writers has to prove it does. Today, that's a slow and manual work. For a single unit, that's a whole afternoon. Across a full qualification, it takes days, and it's the kind of work that's easy to get wrong under time pressure, which is exactly the work an auditor scrutinizes. So let's do it differently. This is where the assessment mapping feature comes in. Once you have built an assessment in VETos, mapping reads both the assessment and the assessor guide and works out how well between them cover the unit, criteria by criteria. And here's how it works. I have already ingested this unit of competency from TGA, and I have built the assessment and the assessor guide for it. So everything mapping needs is in place. I'll click Generate Assessment Mapping. The name's already populated from the unit of competency, but user can adjust it if needed. Then it asks which assessor guide to build the mapping against. I've got one here, so let's go with that. The generation takes a couple of minutes. While it runs, I can open the AI chain of thought and watch where it's up to, so it's not a black box. I can see the reasoning as it works through the unit. Right, it's done. Let's take a look. Up on the top, you can see the coverage scores for each component of the unit: performance criteria, performance evidence, knowledge evidence, foundation skills, and assessment conditions, each with its own scores. The AI flags what's fully covered, what's only partially covered, and where they are with the outright gaps. And below that, the assessment tasks themselves, and under those, the detailed mapping breakdown. So performance criteria 1.3, for instance, is covered in assessment task 1, and if I click into it, it tells me exactly what that task assesses against that criteria. Here's another example, PE1. This performance evidence is covered across all 3 assessment tasks. Click in and again it shows what each task is assessing for that piece of evidence. This is the process where it usually costs a few hours doing it manually. The assessor is hunting through the whole thing to work out where coverage is thin or where there's a gap. In VETos, it's flagged the moment the mapping is generated. And you don't just see the gaps, you resolve them here. Every area that needs attention is listed. For each one, you choose how to close it. Cover it through the assessor guide or cover it with a question in the assessment. As you resolve, VETos updates the assessment and the assessor guide to match, so the mapping and the underlying documents stay in step. User can then take their time going through this process, making sure to select the correct targeted task, question types, and put in any specific focus instruction before hitting Generate Preview. Once done, the new coverage areas will surface, and all you need to do is review them and hit Save. Now all your requirements are covered for this mapping. Now that the gaps are resolved and you are ready for validation, you download the mapping into your own organization template, so what goes to your validation panel or your auditor is in the format that they are used to. So instead of spending hours reconciling documents manually, the mapping is drafted in minutes in VETos. The gaps are surfaced for you and the evidence come out in your own format ready for audit. And throughout all of this, you are still the one in control. VETos does the heavy lifting on drafting, mapping, and review, but you are checking suitability, accuracy, and compliance. Your judgment goes where it actually counts. This is a revolution for not only the assessment design team in your organizations, but for the VET sector in Australia. Reach out to us today for a free demo. Thank you for watching!